follow Scratch and Waggle on Twitter at scratch_waggle. Submit your golf pictures or send your questions and comments to Scratch and Waggle at scratchandwaggle@gmail.com.
All right, so we're back. This is Kip and Thomas, Scratch and Waggle. Thomas?
Yes, this is Thomas here, Scratch and Waggle.
He's
podcast.
The millennial.
The millennial.
He's the millennial, so I'm going to let him give out the Twitter account.
Okay, yeah, so again, you guys, you can reach out to us if you have any questions. Let us know how we're doing, positive, negative. We like feedback. You can send that to scratchandwaggle@gmail.com. So feedback, welcome. We want to answer questions. We want as much participation as possible. So please let us know, give us some feedback, and we'll answer those questions if you...
You want some feedback right now?
Yeah, give me some.
You did a pretty good job with that.
Nice. That's my first time doing that. I was a little nervous.
Because I messed it up on the first episode. I couldn't get the .com and the @ in the right place. So
it's confusing.
Thank you for that. Well, hey, we left it off in the first episode. That sounds so fun. And by the way, I meant to mention this earlier too. Before we even started our first episode, we'd already lost our producer. And anyway, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So and we've got some sponsors that have already come and gone. So even before we started recording, it was cool. So when we left off last episode, we talked about do you like to have music on the golf course? And what I mean by that is, do you want to have the Bluetooth speaker sitting there in the golf cart playing the tunes while you play? Does that bother you?
So the biggest thing about golf was coming into it, and you know, Kip, you're teaching me all these things about the golf course, how to play, the mechanics, but there's a huge aspect to golf and the golf etiquette. Huge part of just how you present yourself on the golf course, what you do, what you don't do. And, you know, I love music. I practiced with music playing during sports when I was younger. You know, it was some way to get your mind off of what you're doing. Sometimes to get you energized. Same thing for the golf course. So I do enjoy the music aspect on the golf course, but when do you play it? When do you not play it? And when is it appropriate?
It's a big deal. On public courses, typically you want to be careful how you do that. Country clubs, nope, not a chance. You will get kicked off most country clubs for playing your music loud. And then what's really fun is when you pull up, when you've got your music, you've been jamming, you get your jam on. What's that song that we like? Win, win, win.
That's just
yeah. I like to win.
On your golf mix.
What's his name? DJ
T-Pain and DJ Khaled.
All I do is win.
All I do is
there
win.
There we go.
Yeah.
All I do is raise your hands up in the building.
I'm embarrassed.
I love it. So, but there's other guys that, you know, I've adapted to it, I guess, and I enjoy it. But I also can do without it. So I'm kind of an either or guy. In a competition round, no, I don't want the music. I want to focus. I want to pay attention to what I'm doing. Out with the guys playing a 4-ball scramble, having a good time. I'm cool with the music because it takes away from some of the ambient noises that are going on from your buddies.
Absolutely. So I mean, in golf for me is a way of unwinding. You know, especially hard week. You want to go play some golf. Just want to be outside. You're hanging out with your friends, family, whatever. And you know, music changes the whole atmosphere. So if you're playing music and you're trying to unwind, it just enhances that experience on the golf course. So again, I talked about that 4-man scramble that we had my first tournament. We had music out there on our golf cart, and it was.
I'm not trying to get close to the mic. I'm trying to get a little bit more comfortable in my chair here. It is so comfortable.
The chair that he wants.
I'm gonna stretch my legs out a little bit. I wasn't trying to get closer. I wasn't trying to steal the mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, he took a picture of that chair during the last podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it out there somewhere on the Twitter account.
So he's really proud.
I'd find it.
I still think that's why I'm over at his house right now, just sitting in the chair.
We are in the schoolroom. Yes. So there's some echo in here. We're gonna upgrade soon.
Yeah, it's happening. But back to the music thing, and again, I'm learning golf etiquette as I go, type thing, and I think I'm adapting to it pretty quickly. I honestly.
All right. So what's one of the funniest things that you've heard so far about the golf etiquette that just you kind of went, what?
Well, our ex-producer actually had a story about the reason why he doesn't want to play golf is because I don't want to play a game that I have to rake up the ground after I'm done.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, after being in the bunker. He said,
like a cat. Yeah.
I hope you hear this.
He will. We'll play it for him.
So yeah, that etiquette-wise, still getting used to making sure that I tidy up the bunker after I've been in it, those type of things. filling the divots.
And I'm interrupting again. But one of the things that I think a beginner, and you can talk about this because I think it was troublesome a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept telling Thomas, hey, when you go, let's go to the driving range. Me and him probably went to the driving range, 6-8 times?
Yeah.
And he kept saying, I want to go to the course. I want to go to the course. And I was like, well, God, there's guys out there that don't like beginners to be on the golf course. And then if, as a beginner golfer, you don't know the etiquette. So when you get out there, you can be put in a situation, especially in LA down here. You can get some nastiness going on. So one of the first things that I tried to teach, I guess if that's the right word, Thomas, was, well, let's go out. I'll go with you because I want him to experience. And we've got a great Robert Trent Jones course here in Mobile. It's got a par 3 course. That was the first course he went to, and I think the first time we went with some guys after work.
Yep.
But we went back after that because I wanted him, and I think any beginner needs some sort of a quote-unquote golf mentor. You got to get out there and you got to show people the correct, proper etiquette, because if he's out there, he's taking a 16 on a par 3, and you got a group behind him, they're not going to appreciate that at all. And if he doesn't know the proper etiquette, he doesn't know that he needs to let them go through.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you had a couple of those experiences that you might want to mention to our beginners.
Yeah, so crazy thing about golf, the etiquette is probably more intimidating than the golf game itself. Because let's be honest, first time out there, I want to hit a couple off the tee. I might hit 2 or 3, but I got a twosome coming up behind me in their cart. And I'm still on the tee, and then I dribble one out maybe 100 yards, and they're getting frustrated. And I'm out there trying to learn, and I paid my money to play. They paid their money to play, so you want to respect each other. So you have to, make those decisions. Hey, is it time to let somebody go to play through you? If you're holding them up, it's one of those situations. You need to look ahead of you, see who's ahead of you. If you let them go play through, and there's somebody still in the green ahead of you, what's the point in playing through? They're going to have to wait anyway. So you have the timing of it, when to let somebody play through, when not to let somebody play through, those things. And it takes time, it takes experience to do that and learn that. I'm getting better. And I'm starting to. I go out to the golf course without Kip now. I'm training wheels off. So I go out there, and I go with my some of my family members at times. We go play together. He's my stepfather. He's getting back into it, and he's new. We go out there together, and we let people play through when it's time because we're out there to relax. And we're not trying to rush golf, which I still haven't figured that out yet, Kip. There's guys out there pay their money. And I'm just a little rant. They go out there, pay their money, and
I'm all about ranting.
Saturday morning, 8:30 in the morning, and they're trying to play as fast as possible. Maybe they got something to do that afternoon. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
Saturday's bad to try to rush.
Yeah,
now, I'm a guy that if I leave, go after work, if I tee off at 4, it gets dark at 8, then I want to get my 18 holes in.
Right.
But I'm also respectful of. And this is going to sound, again, like I'm patting myself on the back, but if I come up against a beginner like that, I'm going to do my best to be patient, give them the time that they need, but also scoot up as much as possible, or even sometimes even call out and say, hey, do you mind if I go through?
Right.
Because there's nothing more frustrating for a golfer that's in a rhythm to get stopped by a bunch of yahoos that just don't want you to go through.
Right.
So I think it's important, and maybe I need to learn from Thomas because he gets out there and he's playing a game. I'm out there for a score. So I feel so relieved now, like a burden has been lifted.
That's scratch stuff. Yeah. But beginners, it's okay to tell somebody that you're a beginner. It's okay. I don't care how competitive.
They know.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell them.
It's not that bad. But no, I mean, I don't care how I'm extremely competitive. And sometimes it's hard to tell somebody, hey, I'm a beginner. Hey, play through. But it actually makes your time more enjoyable when you go back and tell somebody that. So now you're not rushing. You're enjoying your time. You're learning, and also just being out there. I think a lot of people get turned off from golf, and this comes from a beginner. Maybe you've been playing for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
So you don't remember being So you don't remember what a beginner's like.
I can barely walk on the golf course.
Mr. Cart. We're gonna talk about carts and walking too at some point, but yeah. So sometimes people that have been playing for 34 years, they may forget how it is to be a beginner. And how they get frustrated because their game is at a different place. And for a beginner, that could turn a beginner off from the game. So I can see how people put down the sticks. Hey, I tried this for a year. I hated it. Not necessarily because they hated the game. Well, maybe because they weren't any good. But
Well, it's hard to get that ball off the tee.
yeah, but
I think
you see where I'm going
you're
with that?
exactly right. Because they get out there, they pay their $60-$70 to play
Why?
a nice golf course, and they get out there and they're getting heckled, they're getting beer thrown at them, they're getting punched in the face, they're getting golf balls hit at them.
That's happened to me.
Bouncing off the cart. Yeah, I mean,
had-
people
yeah.
hit up on you, and so if and this is maybe something to discuss, but you know, and that's what I was trying to help with Thomas and being his golf mentor, the GM. How about that?
The GM.
I'm
That's
the
good.
GM.
Yeah,
Was to let him know that those situations, the golfers that are going to play pretty regular, and there's bad golfers that still play fast, but I think as a beginner, if you're trying to get into the game, be aware that Saturday morning is a bad time to go try to play as a beginner. Wait till Saturday afternoon, or even a Sunday afternoon.
You want to talk about that story about the day you were at Spring Hill Golf Course and you were having a great day and you had that foursome in front of you and that you remember that story you were telling me?
Give me some more detail.
So it was a
Please
foursome.
don't forget stories.
Spring Hill Golf Course. You said there were some guys ahead of you. And you had to,
yeah. All right. So when you're in LA, when you're in Lower Alabama, there's some rednecks here. And I think they had something to drink, and I think it was a Saturday afternoon late. And yeah, it was me playing by myself. I was a single in a golf cart. Came up with, there was a hole at Spring Hill, dogleg right, par 4, goes right beside the dorms there. If you've played in Mobile, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the right dogleg part of it, you can't see the green. And I'd been playing behind these guys for maybe just a hole. Anyway, and I went to the far right side of the tee box to get a look at the green. I didn't see anybody. So I launched one down there and jump in the golf cart and drive down the hill. And they were on the right side, and they had been looking for a ball, and I just didn't see them. And I'm pretty sure they ran over my ball because it was really close to their cart. And I apologized. Took my hat off. I mean, in Alabama, you take your hat off. That's
a
you
lot.
better respect somebody that
yeah.
takes their hat off.
Yeah.
So I took Bear Bryant.
Bear Bryant.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
So I took my hat off and apologized to the guys. I said, guys, I swear I didn't see you down there. I apologize that I hit anybody. They're like, and they never said a word. Okay, so for a beginner golfer like Thomas, that might be like, what just happened? And then Thomas might actually go, get closer to him and maybe, get in their face looking for a response. And anyway, so to deter that situation, you apologize, you wave at him, you tell him you're sorry, and I sat in my ball until they cleared the green. And they took forever to clear the green, by the way. So then I hit my shot. I think I made a par. And then I go to the next tee box, and the guys are still on the tee box. It was like they were waiting for me. And they hit a shot, they laughed, they cut up or whatever. And in a normal situation, I think that's where you, as a single, you would pull up to the tee box and say, hey guys, you mind if I play through? Sometimes that's where if you're a foursome, there's a single behind you, you might even ask, hey, you go through. You're playing by yourself. You can get through quicker. And these guys never looked at me, and I felt like I probably shouldn't go approach them, and which was probably a smart move. And they got up to the green, and 3 of them got out of the golf carts, and they had all 4 missed the green, by the way. And they're going to their ball, and each one of them, and as they chipped up, the 4th guy was still in the golf cart, and so I knew they were doing this on purpose. And so the 3 of them get up on the green. This guy finally gets out, slow walks to his ball, and at that moment, just for you beginners, if you ever run into that, just chill. It's the hardest thing to do. Your blood's gonna boil, but if you engage in anything, you're gonna get your tail whipped.
And I wasn't there to back him up. So.
Yeah, and Thomas wasn't there. Yeah. Otherwise, it would
have been on, man.
It would have been on. So anyway, just a quick lesson, and it wasn't so quick, but be careful. As a beginner, you go out to the golf course, you need to know how to handle yourself, because there are some people out there that after they've had some alcohol, they're looking for a fight.
Yeah.
So again, just a tip.
Don't let it intimidate you.
Scratch and Waggle Golf Show podcast is all about golf, how to play, where to play, what time to play, and what to play with. So join us, Scratch and Waggle.